So Matpat recently announced his retirement, and the timing of his retirement, I gotta say, it's super interesting to me. Welcome to my channel. Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Matpat while I open up some of my drops. I have a ton of them that I haven't opened yet. As you can see, I got some drops there. They're not going to give me anything good because it's Rocket League, but I'm just going to be opening up some drops and talk about this whole Matpat situation. So Matpat recently announced his retirement, right? And he chose to announce the retirement, and I think at a perfect time, because he's kind of riding the wave of like 2024. It's going to be a bad year. You know what I mean? Pretty soon, other celebrity decks are gonna come too. And every year, we always seem to start on a gloomy note, something negative. You know what I mean? And then we gradually recover to the rest of the year. Now, I saw the video where he retires and he's talking to the camera. It seems he's being pretty genuine and sincere. Although, you know, he kind of talks like Matpat in that sort of like commercial, parasocial kind of way to get you really invested. And he even kind of cries a little bit. I actually made me laugh a little bit. Listen, I like Matpat, but I'm not one of those guys that into like parasocial relationship with YouTubers or like content creators, you know what I mean? But in the video, he says that, you know, other YouTubers are retiring. There's like a couple of YouTubers retiring, but a lot of YouTubers that I don't watch, honestly. The one that I did watch was Matpat. And this whole retirement, some people made videos about it, like Pyrocynical and, you know, and Moist Critical. They're all bidding him, you know, farewell, which is very sweet. I like that. But there's also this tone of like, you know, this sucks that he's leaving. You know what I mean? And I didn't feel very sad that he's leaving at all. I think it's good that, you know, YouTubers like this eventually get enough success that they get to retire. Like, yeah, like you made it, bro. Like somebody like PewDiePie. I don't know why PewDiePie is still making content. He's big enough that he could retire. He's rich enough that he could retire. So is Matpat. So is a lot of YouTubers. You know, I'd imagine at one point the Game Grumps are gonna retire too, and I love them. You know what I mean? But I think they're gonna retire too eventually. Like, especially if it's become like normalized or like this trend of like, you know, YouTubers retiring. So yeah, like I said, Matpat himself acknowledged that all these people are retiring, so he decided to retire too. And so now it's got like people talking a little bit about, you know, YouTubers retiring and all that. Because you don't want to make content forever, right? So he kind of chose the perfect timing to retire, and now everybody's talking about it, all the commentary channels, because I get it, dude. Like, if you were watching YouTube to like 2012 on, from then on, whenever, you know, game theory started, and you like video games, you watch video game videos on YouTube, you know game theory. You probably know them and even like some of their videos. You couldn't escape Matpat. And I remember when I first saw Game Theory, and when I saw when the channel was first starting, actually, you know, when it was taking off, and I loved it. At that time I was really hooked on the stuff. Nowadays, not so more, because he kind of became like a creator, like a bunch of YouTube creators that they become very well known, and you watch them for a while, you binge them, you could even be their biggest fan for a while, but then you sort of move on because you get used to everything. You know, man, you just get used to all the creators and the content. You don't like a content forever, especially in YouTube and how diverse it is, that it pushes you to other type of content. So you kind of keep hopping on different, you know, trains of content that are different from each other. And that's what happened to me with Game Theory. I loved it and I still do. But, you know, I kind of moved on a little bit. So I can't say that I'm the biggest Matpat fan, although I really like the guy. Honestly, I always liked him, and even when he got into minor drama, I never bought into it. I never bought into the Matpat hate or whatever. Even if he got a theory wrong, whatever. They're just theories, you know what I mean? He can be wrong about them, but whatever. But some people in those communities are very, you know, uptight about it, or it just has some critiques about him, you know, which is cool, you know, it's whatever. I do want to say, though, that Matpat is a very smart YouTube creator. If I'm not mistaken, I know that he worked for the FI and analytics, so he would be the kind of guy that would help other channels with analytics and how to, you know, boost their recommendations and all that. He's a guy that certainly knows how to play into the algorithm and play into how being a successful YouTuber. You know what I mean? And his timing, obviously, like, it's in accordance with that, because he chose the perfect timing to announce a retirement. And not only that, this is a genius part that I think he did. He announced his retirement early while he's still gonna pop out some videos. So he's not retiring right now. He's retiring in a little while. And what this does is this really appeals to people like me that used to watch Game Theory a lot but kind of stopped watching it, to come back and watch Game Theory for his last run, which is what I've been doing. I've been watching some of his videos on his Game Theory channel, and they're cool. They're exactly what I remember them. They still have that good quality to them. It's not like he has changed for the worse or anything, or that he went downhill or anything like that. They're still as good as they ever was. And he's admitted that, you know, in the latest videos, it's not just him working on the Game Theory channel. He has a lot of writers and a lot of people that help them make the videos, which is something that, you know, it's not all his work anymore. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna give credit to Matpat and his channel and his last video that he's doing, it doesn't completely go to him. It goes to his staff too. But yeah, as I'm watching the videos on his channel and I'm thinking about the timing of where he decided to announce his retirement, I can't help to feel like a little bit manipulated. Like whatever plan that he had to, you know, sneak into the algorithm and be, you know, the trending guy, the trending topic, completely worked. And it completely worked on me like a fool. Like I'm a fool, bro. Like I know he's playing me. He's playing me to go back and watch the Game Theory channel, and I have. And it's, dude, it just reminds me of like how good Matpat is in terms of like analytics and how to run a YouTube channel, and how he's made this empire out of this silly little Game Theory channel that has expanded into like 4 channels. I think he has food theory, he has film theory, and he has style theory, which is the latest one. It's not for me at all. I'm not a person that watches that kind of thing, but he's expanded his empire, which, you know, is something that he covers in his video. He says like he's been too busy, you know what I mean? Because that's what happens, right? When you create an empire, and the more you expand, the more work you're taking onto yourself. And yeah, you're growing as a brand and as a creator, but it's just more work, and it's gonna be more life consuming, which I get. And ideally, what he's doing is the right thing. What you do is you hire a team that, you know, could run the channel, help you run the channel, and eventually could run the channel even without you. You can just be an investor on the channel, or like be loosely related, get some, you know, money out of it in some way, or just completely sell it off. I'm not really sure what kind of deal he has with his channel. Maybe he gets some, you know, money, make any more royalties from it. That's the word that I'm thinking. He's not gonna get any royalties from it. Maybe he will, maybe he does. I really haven't dwelled into his contract, but I would think like ideally, if he's in the best position, I think that ideally he would sell it off while getting some royalties, or he will remain a partner in some silent way and doing work in the background and doing other work for, you know, other YouTubers or like different, you know, media companies. And, you know, that's one of the reasons that I didn't feel sad for Matpat in this announcement for retirement, because he mentions that he wants to retire and, you know, spend more time with his family, spend more time doing normal stuff, that he wants to, you know, be with his wife and not always be talking about work, because his wife is not only his wife, she's like his partner in this whole entertainment field, you know what I mean? So I would imagine that would consume a lot of their life, and he kind of wants to, you know, finally sit back and relax a little bit and, you know, enjoy the fruits of his labor, you know, that he's done with all these channels that he's created. And to me, that doesn't make me sad. To me, it just makes me happy for him. Because ideally, if I were in his position, or in PewDiePie's position, or like in one of the positions of these content creators that have been doing it for so long, and they could retire if they want, honestly, I would retire. Because the pressure of always being in social media, the pressure of always being in the spotlight, it's a lot. You know what I mean? I imagine it feels pretty rewarding in a way, right? But at the same time, it could be like a hassle, or like a weight on you, that you always have to try to stay relevant in this field, so you never, you know, fall out. And personally, if you have enough money for me, I think, you know, you could just retire, because I think fame is cool, but money's better. Being financially, you know, stable and having like being well financially covered for the rest of your life, it just allows you to live your life however you want, you know what I mean? And you don't need this added extra pressure to try to keep being famous. Like if you take like a normal celebrity, for example, I always think of J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, right? Jennifer Lopez is an actress, a singer, and just like an entrepreneur. She makes perfume. I think she has a clothing line. She's herself very too busy. And J-Lo is always struggling to try to remain relevant. She's still like out there dancing and making tours. Like she still wants to be in the spotlight of fame, even though she has enough money to retire from all the fields, so she could just focus on being an actress and all that. I think she's one of those people that, like a lot of celebrities, that just are like addicted to the spotlight, and that's their job. You know what I mean? To be like addicted to the spotlight, and that in turn makes them incredibly busy people in real life. You know what I mean? They're working out, they're putting out a lot of stuff, but I don't think they have a lot of, you know, chill time in their personal life, unless, you know, they have a really good schedule and they plan all that shit really well. Aside from that, right, like I've seen a couple of videos, people talking about Matpat. I saw pyrocynical, which I love. I saw Charlie talking about him. I saw another creator, which is called Bandit Games, that did a collaboration with him, as well as another guy that was talking about his interactions with Matpat. And I gotta say, so far from what I've seen, they've mostly been positive. What they've been saying is like, this guy, you know, Matpat, as famous as he is, he was always a very kind person when you met him, when you work with him, or you have some kind of interaction with him. And I will say this too, that Matpat, as a creator, I think Matpat really loves YouTube, honestly. I think he's one of the guys that found a way to make a career out of YouTube. And he not only is he a creator for YouTube, I think he's one of the guys that really has an appreciation for all the landscape of content in YouTube. For example, I remember I saw a comment of him in a Game Grumps video where the Game Grumps referenced him, and he was in the comment section just talking with them. You know, he paid attention to that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? And one of the videos that I saw is he's talking about this small content creator that Matpat paid attention to on YouTube, because, like I said, I think Matpat, honestly, okay, I got no more red drops. Let's go for the uncommon drops. I think Matpat, honestly, is just a fan of the platform. And since he works on analytics, all that, I think Matpat is like this kind of like open-minded, creative kind of guy that even if he could be interested in content that it's not even the kind of content that he makes. You know what I mean? He's just that kind of guy that can find appreciation in different kind of contents, and just how YouTube works and how creative YouTubers can be. Like, I feel that about him, and it kind of reflects on how he is as a person, how he treats other creators, how he treats the platform with that kind of respect and that kind of, you know, what I like about it is it doesn't have a negative tone to it. It just has a tone of an appreciation. You know what I mean? Even though Matpat sometimes has criticized some things, and like some products or whatever, he has criticized some things. He's never been known for being like a super negative kind of guy. He's always been known for, you know, being like a curious guy that, you know, likes to analyze things on a deeper level or create theories about stuff, you know. And, you know, seeing that he's gonna retire now, and thinking of like how I watch his channel and all that, I still, like I said, I still don't feel sad for him. I'm glad that he was on this platform, and I'm really glad of like what he brought to this platform and the influence that he brought. And it's nice to see, for a change, a creator that, you know, it's not a groomer. I know that's a very low bar, okay? I don't even shouldn't be saying that because it's a weird comparison to make. But what I'm trying to say is you've seen some stuff, a lot of stuff of creators of just taking advantage of their fans, or just being, you know, like really shitty people on the background. And when you see that Matpat wasn't any of that, he was just like a nice guy that you know, genuinely liked YouTube and its creators. It's kind of refreshing to see, you know what I mean? It's kind of refreshing when people are usually in the spotlight. It's usually over a negative way, but it's kind of Matpat being in the spotlight in a very positive way with everything that's been happening. It's been very cool, you know, because YouTube doesn't have to be all about negativity, right? It could be about positive things, and in this case, it's about, you know, recognizing what Matpat brought to the platform. And honestly, I'm saying all this as like a casual viewer. because I'm not even his biggest deep hardcore fan, and I still notice this. I still notice all these things that I'm saying about him, about his influence on YouTube, and how overall it's been a very positive influence on YouTube in general. And just and he mentioned that he kind of wanted to retire on a high note. He wanted to retire, you know, on he kind of wanted to retire before he became one of these YouTubers that are just desperately trying to chase the views that they once had at their peak. You know what I mean? He's trying to retire while he was still relevant, while he meant something to the internet, and he still could have done this for like 5 more years or so. You know what I mean? And I think he would still get pretty decent views. But one thing that he mentioned is the more that you do this, or if you're a very creative person too, like I think he is, the more that you do this, the more you look kind of passion for it. And I understand that, you know what I mean? At one point, everybody needs to retire from what they're doing, and they need to move on either to something else, or they can either move on to just have a permanent vacation and chill for the rest of their life. If they created an empire, basically a brand empire like he did,